update on the Utumishi Girls Academy in Nakuru after tragedy struck, leaving 16 or more students dead on spot, who perished after probably suffocation or the high flames. Remember, so far, like 7 students have been identified, and the rest, the body identification process is still ongoing. They were burned beyond recognition, leaving the DCI to take the bodies so that they can do an actual DNA test to confirm the identities of these students. What was the actual cause of the fire? This is our main point today. Well, do you ever ask yourself what was the actual cause of fire at the Utumishi Girls Academy, and why were the students actually locked inside the dormitories? Where was the matron at that time? Where was the security, the teachers on duty, principal or deputy principal, to actually save these students? What made the reaction? Well, before we get into it, welcome back to our channel. Press that subscribe button and ring your notification bell so that you can be fast to receive our bulletins once we upload them. Now back to the Utumishi Girls Academy, the tragedy that left 16 or more students perish in the tragedy of fire that erupted after a dormitory was allegedly closed and all exit doors, leaving them trapped inside the dormitory. Can we listen to the first eyewitness and the principal together with more comments, conclusion, and we will proceed with an actual analysis on this channel.
Wanafunzi 8 wa shule ya upili ya wasichana ya Utumishi ya Gilgil County ya Nakuru wamekamatwa wakihusishwa na mkasa wa moto uliotokea usiku wa Jumatano na kusababisha maafa ya wanafunzi 16. Washukiwa wanatarajiwa kufikishwa mahakamani wiki ijayo, huku uchunguzi wa kina ukiendelea. Uchunguzi wa awali unaonyesha kuwa njama ya kuteketeza bweni ilipangwa na baadhi ya wanafunzi ambao walionyesha kutoridhishwa na usimamizi wa shule hiyo, hasa mwalimu mkuu.
Ndani ya ofisi za shule hii ni wanafunzi takriban 30 ambao wanahojiwa na maafisa wa upelelezi DCI kuhusu mkasa wa moto wa Jumatano usiku ambao ulisababisha vifo vya wanafunzi 16. Mahojiano yakiwaelekeza wapelelezi kuwakamata wanafunzi 8 wanaoshukiwa kuwa wahusika wakuu waliotia moto magodoro usiku huo.
Tuko na habari sasa kamili ya kwamba wanafunzi 8 kupitia uchunguzi imepatikana kwamba wanafunzi 8 wanakiziwa kwamba walihusika na kuchoma hiyo dormitory.
Wachunguzi wakielezwa kwa baadhi ya wanafunzi walikuwa wameonyesha dalili za kutoridhishwa na usimamizi wa shule, hasa mwalimu mkuu, na hivyo kupanga kuteketeza shule hiyo.
12 nilianza kusikia nduru. According to me, dom yetu tunakwanga the noisiest dom, so like tulikuwa tunaona like it's a normal like makelele, but sasa according to me wenye tunalala huko mwisho tukasikia a strong smell like venye mattress zikichomeka.
We've received a preliminary report which alleges that 2 of our teachers were aware of this incident and they didn't take action.
Huku wanafunzi hao 8 wakitarajiwa kufikishwa mahakamani kushtakiwa kwa mauaji ya kikatili ya wenzao, wapelelezi wanaendelea kuwahoji wanafunzi zaidi katika mkasa ambao umetikisa jamii ya Gilgil na taifa.
Listen to this student telling a tragic story. I don't know if these students will ever heal from this trauma. I'm still asking myself at this point, what were the students thinking to light up a dormitory and lock their fellows inside? What was going on in their minds, including a grade 10 student? Is it peer pressure? Is it trying to fit in or being overpowered by other students? Leave me their views on the comment section because this is a tragedy.
I'm Moroga Hindanjiri from Utumishi Girls. I'm from 3 students. Niko from 3 red. Like nilikuwa one of the students wenye nalala hiyo dom. Nalala cube 10. According to venye najua, ni venye niliamka like nilikuwa nasikia nduru, but sasa najua cube yetu inapenda tu makelele, but nikiangalia watch ilikuwa 12. So nikiangalia nikitoka nje ya cube napatana na moto na moshi mingi, but sasa like siko najua palio moto imetoka, so I had to like nijue venye nitatoka, but sasa nikienda kutoka moto ikafunga barabara kabisa. So nikarudi na nyuma, nikatoa cardboards. Zilikuwa kuna kirumi na kwanga hapo, so nikabidi nitoe cardboards niruke. So the moment niliruka nikaona tuna wengine wanapita the same way, but the time niliruka na kwanga na shida ya mguu, so mguu yangu ikakataa like move. So ikabidi nibebwe, nikaletwa hapa kwa admin. Nikaenda na ambulance ya 3, tukapelekwa Mathare, tukadungwa sindano. After hapo nikapigwa transfer, nikaenda St Joseph, nikapigwa x-ray 2 but haikuwa inaonekana kitu. Nikapigwa transfer, nikaenda Nairobi Women's, nikapigwa MRI, nikaambiwa shida ni muscles ndio ziko na shida. Alafu sasa like shule ndio ilinishughulikia everything, ikanilipia everything that nilikuwa nataka. Vinyi naweza sema our school like ni one of the national school, it's a perfect school. Siwezi piana any negative things about shule yetu because naipenda sana. Like according to meals ziko sawa, administration iko sawa, kila kitu iko sawa, it's a perfect school. Alafu kitu kingine naweza sema about our schools, about our principal, anapenda equality, that's why tunaweza mpenda, na siwezi penda tuchange principal wetu because of what has happened. So like mimi naomba tuchange principal because
look at the images of some of the students that perished and have been identified. We had a devastating parent who was there uncontrolled and wanted to know the actual condition of the daughter because she had not received any updates or seen the daughter. Remember, students were being taken to St. Joseph's Hospital for further treatment, and some were being placed under tight security at the hospital facility. So this parent had not seen the child and was in total devastation. Unfortunately, the daughter did not make it. We also had another parent who perished in the accident while on the way to check on the student. That is very sad. The husband critically injured, but the daughter apparently survived the fire tragedy.
Since morning, you are not telling us anything. I want to know where my daughter is. Almost it's now meeting. Since morning. Please. Let me check whether my daughter is among the dead. Excuse me, madam. Just tell me my daughter is among the dead. I'm a committee hospital. Period. Stop lecturing me. I don't want stories.
Guy, lazima utaambiwa kuna
no. Leave me alone. No, no.
Well, one student specifically touched me, Cecilia Wanjiku, who is going to be remembered as a hero. She went back into the fire to try and save the others, but unfortunately she did not make it. This is her image.
Okay, so like I'm a learner from Utumishi Girls Academy, and yesterday being a holiday for the Muslims, as the culture of our school, we normally follow a certain procedure, which is the Saturday program. So we normally go to bed at 9. So at 9 we went to the dorms, and everybody freshened up, ready to sleep. So like when we slept, it was around 12, if I could clearly remember, when somebody in the dorm, Stanford, shouted and said, alishout akasema, kila mtu atoke dom inachomeka. So like kila mtu, and like everybody was confused because they didn't know what to do and what to not do. So by the time nilikuwa natoka cube, moto ilikuwa isha cover cube, the pathway of cube 6 and cube 7. So and that is the pathway that we're supposed to use so that we evacuate the dome. So by the time nilikuwa nafika hapo, moto ilikuwa isha cover the whole way, which means hatungeweza kupita. So we had no other option but kurudi kwa tube. So when we went back to the tube, moshi ilikuwa ishafika kwa tube, like the smoke was too high that some of my tube mates were suffocating. So like we had no option but to open the window, and we had to jump from Stanford to down. Yeah, ground floor, then first floor. So like from the upper door to down, and then I ended up breaking my hand and leg. Yes. So then when I fell down, I couldn't feel my feet, my hand, like I passed out. I didn't know what happened to me after that. But all in all, when I arrived at the hospital, I came back to my senses when I arrived at the Gilgilton County Hospital, where they helped me, and at least they tied me up because I had a fracture on my leg and my hand. And then after that, we now came here to St. And it turns out that I had a broken bone because of the impact. I am in so much pain right now, psychologically, mentally, and physically. I can't say I'm okay because first of all, I have trauma from what has happened. Nothing like that has ever happened to me. Being the first time and me being such a minor is just depressing. And physically, I'm in so much pain right now, both my hand and my leg. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm Boniface Motiso. I'm the end of the outpatient department, St. Joseph Rift Valley Hospital. So, at around 3 a.m. in the morning, we were woken up by the ambulance sirens. We activated our emergency team, who turned up now to attend the casualties. At that time, we were brought around 69 students who had multiple injuries resulting from the stampede that occurred after the dormitory caught fire. So we attended 69 students. Then we treated 61 as an outpatient, and we had 8 who were admitted. But there is one student who was picked by the parent to take to the hospital of choice. So most of the students who had injuries were mainly fractures. Around 7 students had fractures that resulted from jumping from a height. So we stabilized them. They are in a stable condition right now, waiting for the further evaluation for definitive management. For now, we are giving those students who are admitted in our facility and those who are treated in the outpatient, we are giving psychosocial support, counseling.
Now, a student who witnessed everything testified that Form 3 students got mattresses, placed them in the middle of the dormitory, and set the whole dormitory ablaze with diesel. That made them stranded. Remember, it is alleged that all the exits were locked. We have the front door and an exit all locked. In this time of the tragedy, it was around 1 a.m. in the morning. And the matron, where was she? Where was she? We need accountability and more digging into this story. Because a CCTV footage allegedly showed that the Utumishi students were getting mattresses and assembling them to light them on fire. So far, the DCI arrested 30 and they were under investigations, narrowing down to 10. Now we have 8 culprits who have been detained, including a grade 10 student. It is so devastating. How did a grade 10 student get herself into this kind of arson? We are talking about a fire tragedy that has left 16 or more students lifeless. What are the nature of these students? What were they thinking before they set the dormitories on fire? It is alleged that they had a misunderstanding with the administration. Even if you have a misunderstanding with the administration and you don't like the principal, why the call to actually decide to ban your fellows inside the dormitory? Remember, the reason they are saying is that they were opposed to the principal. They don't like the principal. That is what we are hearing up to now. And they had one or two teachers knew about this whole incident. Why could these teachers not stop this whole thing? There are so many questions that we need to be fulfilled in. Where did these students get the diesel from? Because that can't be paraffin. They are saying paraffin. Do you think paraffin can actually light the way the dormitory caught fire and it was gushing and spreading everywhere? Remember, they say the border riders rushed to the scene to come and try and intervene to rescue these girls, but they were all sent away and chased from the scene. Probably because of the security of these kids, but it was too late. One eyewitness stated it was very difficult for them to actually save these girls from the dormitory because of the nature of the windows. And remember, if you look at this building, well, it has some ventilations. These ventilations are feeding in oxygen, and this oxygen is helping the fire to actually intensify. What happened to the government to check on the updates of the schools and the security detail in case of a fire? Remember, we always used to have those people that go to schools to check how the school is going on, the safety of the buildings, how are they built. Up there we can actually see some students jumped. They actually had to jump, leaving them with the fractures and all that, permanent damages. One student actually said she saw a fellow student burning, and the minute she started burning on the head, they saw they had no way out. They were coming out of the cubicles because one student screamed, "Wake up, there is fire!" So they woke up. In the middle of waking up, on towards the first exit, fire had almost surrounded the whole thing. So they had to retaliate and go back to their cubes. And there were some students who were already suffocating and choking onto the smoke, falling down there. So they decided, we are going to jump, come and buy and buy. You understand that situation? And some students actually just held themselves together, hugging at the exit point. They were found tightly hugging each other and bodies piled right there.
Niona aliruka na akapasuka kichwa na ilikuwa mbaya, iliuma. Hiyo kitu ikukuwa poa.
The memories of that night, he says, are impossible to erase. He knew that every second the flames rage on meant another life slipping away.
Tulikuwa tumekumbatiana kwa kona. Tunajaribu kwenda kuwatoa, wanakataa kutoka. Wanalia tu hapo hivi. Sasa unaona walipasia hapo hivi. Walikuwa treka 4-5 hapo. Na kuna wenye walipaswa wakiwa wamelala kwa kitanda, wako wanajua nini inaendelea. So hiyo moshi nao kawamaliza.
For Muiruri, the design of the dormitory hampered rescue efforts, making it even more difficult to save the trapped girls.
Mlango tu ndio ilifunjwa. Dirisha hizo zilikuwa juu, ilikuwa na viokonde. So unaona ungeweza kumanage kufika huko hivi. Na kuna wenye hata ungewaambia tu wapitie hapo kwa dirisha, ingekuwa ngumu sana kwa sababu wangeweza kuruka.
He says the incident serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for stringent safety measures in schools.
The question is, who actually locked this dormitory from outside, leaving these students stuck inside without no way out? And where did the Utumishi students get the diesel that they used to light up fire and a matchstick? Where was the security? Where was the matron on duty, teachers on duty, or any principal or deputy? And if the two teachers were aware of what was going on, why were they not in position to stop this whole thing? Well, stay tuned to Royal News as we dig more into this devastating story that is being taken as arson, as students have been arrested. 8 students, to be specific, have been arrested by the DCI as investigations continue, including a grade 10 student. Well, stay tuned to Royal News for more updates. JD Ishmaels.